Hey everyone, welcome back. My name's dustinkreis, and today we are going to do another game discussion. We're going to talk about this game right here, Binary Domain, on the PS3 and I believe the Xbox 360 as well. Brought to us by Sega, and this is one of those third-person shooter, cover-based, kind of Gears of War-esque type games. And unfortunately, I think this game kind of got lost in the shuffle. I can't really remember. I remember it coming out, and then just kind of came out, and then no one talked about it, and then all of a sudden a bunch of people started talking about the game and saying what a I don't want to use the term hidden gem, because that game or that term is kind of made like a sour taste in my mouth nowadays, but it's definitely one of those overlooked games that I think a lot of people should definitely check out. I had a blast with this, and coming off of Demon's Souls, this is exactly what I needed. I needed a just an action-packed, fast-paced type of game where you don't really have to put in a lot of thought to it. Just something fast and loose and easy. Not easy, because I did die quite a bit in this game, but you know what I mean. Compared to Demon's Souls, I wanted something kind of opposite of that. And I got exactly what I needed to out of Binary Domain. And I was actually really surprised how impressed I was with this game. And then towards the end of the game, how kind of upset that I am that there probably will not be a sequel to this game ever, thanks to the woes that Sega's going through currently. And I don't think this was a big seller. But I have to give a huge shout out to Alex Return to Mother Base for recommending this game. Basically, it was just him. Every now and then, whenever somebody would say, "What should I play now?" he would just type in Binary fucking Domain. And I think we were actually thinking about doing a game night with this for a while. I don't know if the servers are still up. It does have 1 to 10, multiplayer in it. But, yeah, I actually really had a blast with this and was really impressed with the sort of Blade Runner meets Battlestar Galactica meets, I guess, Aliens, in the sense that you play as a team fighting against insurmountable odds. Not Aliens in that you're on a planet and it's scary and things like that, but just, I don't know, the camaraderie between the team in this game reminded me a lot of like the Space Marines and Aliens. Yeah, I mean, starting off in the game, I didn't really see what was so impressive about it. And then, I don't know, it just seems to me like it has a lot more on its mind than most traditional third-person shooters. I mean, I never really sort of had the head-scratching sort of, oh man, that's a cool idea type of feeling when I played Gears of War, for instance. I never really had that overwhelming like sense of, oh, that's awesome, storyline progression, which is weird for a third-person shooter because you don't really think of storyline very often in these types of games. And in talking about the storyline, you play as, what's his last name? His first name's Dan Marshall, who is on this team called Rust Crew. And what they do, this is set in the future after the oceans have risen and the land masses have shrunken, and Earth has just humanity's kind of gone through this nut punch of a time. And humankind starts developing robots, and with robots comes, of course, artificial intelligence. And these Rust crews go around and try to keep in check this new phenomenon that's going around called Hollow Children, which are, they, for all intents and purposes, they look like a normal human being, but on the inside, they are, of course, a robot, and trying to figure out where this infiltration has come from. And it leads them to, it leads them to Japan and Tokyo, but of course Tokyo has been flooded from this geological disaster. And it's sort of in the ruins of old Tokyo, and then in this new, palatial Tokyo that's been built for the upper crust. And there's a lot of, these are all ideas that we've seen in other apartment life. These are all ideas we have seen in other entertainment medias. Like I said, it kind of cribs from Blade Runner with the Hollow Children. It kind of cribs from Battlestar Galactica with the Hollow Children as well as the human Cylons. And the whole idea of, people living in the slums while the upper crust live in this gorgeous, beautiful city that's protected from everything. These are all things that we've seen before in different media, but put together in this game with this third-person shooter is just, it was really impressive. And it's made more impressive by the fact that this game, like many of these sort of, I don't want to say AAA titles, but these, a lot of these types of games come out, like a big game comes out like Gears of War, or here recently there's been a rash of sort of the Dark Souls clones. Big game comes out, makes a big splash with a certain gameplay style, and then the market is sort of flooded with all these quote-unquote clones, and they kind of get lost in the shuffle. And I feel like Binary Domain kind of got lost in the shuffle, the same way that like Red Faction Armageddon got lost in the shuffle, which Red Faction Armageddon is an amazing game as well. Amazing in that it's really good for being as overlooked as it is. We'll put it that way. And Binary Domain is the same thing. It's kind of one of these overlooked, hidden gem games that went by the wayside, but now that are like dirt cheap. Go out and pick it up, because I think you'll really be surprised at your entertainment value with this game. Gameplay, if you have played like a Gears of War style game, you know exactly what to expect. Third-person shooter, you hold the L1 button to bring your gun up and aim, R1 to shoot. You find various cover all over the place to hide behind, and the cool thing about this game is that you're fighting robots. And the cool thing is, as you shoot the robots, they just sort of disintegrate, as they would in real life. And you can do all these sort of things. You can disarm them by shooting their hands. You can make them fall to the ground by shooting their legs. You can shoot their heads off, and they'll start attacking other enemy robots. And of course, this is something that we've seen in other games as well. The various third-person shooters like the Resident Evils and Shadows of the Damned and things like that. You shoot various points on the body, and it does different styles of damage and has different effects. Another cool thing about this is the gun, your main gun, which you can upgrade. Every time you destroy an enemy, you get credits to spend at a shop. You can upgrade your character, and you can upgrade your partners that are with you. Very important to upgrade them, and because they really do help you out quite a bit. And it's very important not to shoot them, because it kind of has a how do I put it? Like, if you shoot them, they'll get mad at you, and they may not like help you out as much. That kind of a system in there. So it's kind of hard though, because they're just idiots, and they'll just run right into your line of fire and then blame you for shooting them when they ran straight into your line of fire. But it's a cool little system that really I didn't pay that much attention to. I just, if they got my line of fire, they got a bullet in their head. I mean, that's just how it is. You can get med packs to revive yourself, and you can call your teammates to revive you. And you can, in the shop, you can buy more med packs and more bullets. So it kind of has, a lot of games, action games, have really been incorporating RPG elements in the last couple generations. So it kind of does have an RPG element type of feel. But it's just a lot of fun to run through these stages and kind of duck and shuck behind all the cover and shoot some robots. Who doesn't love shooting robots? I do. And some of the boss battles are pretty awesome. Sometimes they're really cheap. And especially the final boss, eventually I beat him, but man, it just seemed like if he ever got a bead on you and started shooting you, you were dead. So it takes a lot of running around and finding the rocket launchers and letting him have it and that kind of stuff. But still a really fun game. The only thing that I do not like about this game, do not like is the QuickTime events. I really just don't like QuickTime events, especially ones that have like a little meter down here, and then it slowly creeps in, and then the little cursor goes back and forth, and you have to hit O at the right time, because it never feels like it's correct. Like, the cursor will be in the blue spot, and then you'll hit the O button, and then it'll just zip over to the pink, and you're like, oh shit, I just died. And you have to start over again. And that was a cause of a lot of... that was a cause of a... Jesus Christ, that kid must be really doing something bad down there, because he is just going apeshit on that kid. God damn. Anyway, the timing of the QuickTime events, especially that little meter thing there, felt really off. And I did die quite a few times because of that. Graphically, the game, when did it come out? Looking for a date, don't see a date. I don't know when it came out. Look it up. But anyway, graphically, it's weird, because I felt like I was always waiting for the textures to pop in, and then I realized, oh no, that's just how the characters look. They have kind of a waxy, I guess just a waxy sort of not claymation, I might put in the wrong mindset, but they don't look really real, and that's okay, that's fine. You don't have to have perfect character models or anything in there. The robots look fantastic, but I always feel like people in these games, they always look really waxy and just artificial, plasticky even. And this is one of those games that does that. But then again, I don't know the budget for this game. I kind of lump it into that AAA category, because that seems to be what game companies are going for. You know, they go for these big AAA style of games, and because they're not the first one on the block, it doesn't necessarily take off as much, you know, like Dark Souls. Everyone loves Dark Souls, but then, like, what was it, Lords of the Fallen came out on PS4, and I've heard, like, next to nobody talk about Lords of the Fallen. Everyone talks about Dark Souls, but no one has really played Lords of the Fallen, and it's kind of the same style of game, so... It's one of those things where it just gets lost in the shuffle because there's so many games out there like it. It happens to first-person shooters a lot. There's a lot of really... kind of good first-person shooters, but it gets lost in the Call of Duty sort of den, you know. But graphically, it's a mixed bag. The robots look really good, the environments look really good, but a little bit vacant. But the character models, at some points in time, they look really good, and then, like, when it gets into, like, an extreme close-up, you're like, wow, there's not a lot of texture detail on that face. But it is what it is, and, you know, we don't play these games really for graphics. I mean, we play them to have a good time, and Binary Domain is a really good time. The voice acting is really, really good. I actually really enjoyed the characters. Really enjoyed... Oh, shit. What is the French robot's name? It's escaping me. I want to say Leon, but that might not be right. But the French robot that's a part of your team, I really enjoyed his character, and whenever he would interact with the other characters, it was always a really funny, good time. But yeah, really good voice acting. Nothing really sticks out as bad, although, and it might just be me, but the Japanese characters in the game, when they speak English, it might just be me. It just sounds really stereotypical, like bad, like English, you know. But that could just be me. Who knows? It's not as bad as, like, say, watching Breakfast at Tiffany's or something like that. But it just kind of struck me as like, wow, that's kind of bad. I don't know. The music, I thought the music was absolutely awesome in this game. Really kind of unexpected. I always expect, like, chugging guitars and, like, metal and, you know, something like that in here. And this has, like, a very, like, it kind of reminded me in some places of an RPG soundtrack, to be honest with you. Just the, like, the opening credits, not the opening credits, but the title screen song, and then, like, the end credits song and stuff like that. It really is sort of a different feel, and I wonder if that's because it's a Japanese developed game instead of like a Western developed game, because I feel like with Western developed games, you sort of get that, chugging guitar and things like that. And then Japanese video game music always seems better to me. And that's a personal preference. And yeah, this was a Japanese developed game originally. So you can definitely see it in the robot designs and things like that as well. But yeah, Binary Domain, man. I had to listen to Alex go on and 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 on about it. And finally I found it because it's weird because it's a cheap game, but I just could not find it in the wild for the life of me. And then finally I saw it at my GameStop and it was like $5 and I was like, yoink. And I put it in because I was done with Demon's Souls and wanted something kind of fast and loose to play. And man, I really enjoyed my time with it. This is a really amazing game. I think it was Chance's Game of the Year one year. And I don't know if I'd go that far, but it's probably the best third-person shooter. The most fun I've had with a third-person shooter. Because I love the world. I love sort of the more thoughtfulness that's brought to the storyline. I mean, it's still kind of machismo, men being men type of thing, but it does feel a bit more thoughtful in its approach to what's human and what's not human, that kind of storyline. And plus it has, for a third-person action game, a relatively decent love story in it. As I was getting ready to shoot the video, I was talking about the love story, and TG Appileus said something about, yeah, you treat a girl nasty the entire game and she still falls in love with you. Because it does kind of have a morality system, I guess, with your team partners, depending on how you answer them throughout the stage. And I guess one time he played as a really good guy and then immediately played as like an asshole, and it didn't change anything in the storyline. So I don't really know what the purpose of that is in the game. But it is fun sometimes just to tell people off and then to hear their reactions. So it's probably just a little fun thing. But anyway, if you find this out there for $5, definitely pick it up. I would even say if it gets up to the $10, $15 range, still pick it up, because I think it is worth $10 to $15. And it goes to show you that some of these games that slip through the cracks because they're not the first one, the genre on the block, or the biggest name, or, it kind of feels like an also ran. Give them a shot, because you might actually be really surprised. And just kind of briefly looking at reviews on various sites, it's well reviewed. People enjoy the game, so you're not going to go wrong with Binary Domain. And if you are into these type of games and you want to try one, I would definitely suggest trying this one, because I enjoyed the characters, really enjoyed the world, and just the overall experience of the game. So yeah, Binary Domain, really, really good game, and made me laugh a couple times, and it filled my heart with glee, because I'm a big Blade Runner, Battlestar Galactica fan, and it felt like it was constantly referencing those two things, at least to me, because I'm such a big fan of them. So I really enjoyed that. But anyway, you might have a different experience. But that is it for Binary Domain. I have no idea what I'm going to play next. I really don't know, because Final Fantasy Type 0 is coming out here soon. And I don't want to start something very long before, because I do want to put that in. And I should just finish up Majora's Mask. That's what I should do. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So anyway, guys, I have a burp, kind of. You don't care. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you so much for watching. Take care. I'll see you next time.